Hi guys, welcome to yet another episode of our weekly podcast at the end of the day. And as you know, this is a podcast that aims to guide the recently arriving immigrants in the United States. And we release every new episode every Sunday. Myself is Dipika, he is Anuz, and with us today is Mary Sise.
Hi everyone, I'm Mary Sise. I'm the manager at Upwardly Global. Upwardly Global aims to work with the newly arrived immigrants who have a professional career in their home country. And we try to get these people back into their careers. So there's no reason for an engineer to be driving an Uber during the day. So we'll work with them, we'll walk through their resume with them, how to, introduce yourself to a room full of people you've never met, how to network, apply for jobs, and then ultimately negotiate that final salary.
In today's podcast, we're going to be focusing on elevator pitch. Tell me what elevator pitch is for our audience.
So an elevator pitch is just a very short 30 seconds to a minute introduction to who you are. The hard part about this is you really customize it to every person that you talk to.
Okay.
So if you are meeting someone for coffee, it might be a very informal elevator pitch, just casually introducing yourself. But if you are at a formal networking event in your industry, you might be more strategic about how you're saying what you could offer the person that you're speaking to. Okay. So you really customize your pitch to who your audience is.
You are pitching yourself within 30 seconds.
Yes.
So how do we do it?
First, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I think everyone can agree, no matter where you're from, 30 seconds about who you are, where do you start? I would always recommend to just briefly state, what your industry is, what your quick background is. So, I work in a nonprofit industry. That immediately sets the conversation for the experience I can bring to the person. Typically, it helps if you know the person that you're speaking to some degree, so that you can customize your approach to them. But the biggest part is that you are confident in what you're saying, that you're comfortable. You want to keep it really conversational so the person doesn't feel like they're being attacked with your background.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whenever I attend events, when I tell about myself, at times I feel that maybe I'm just, I'm like overloading him with my information.
Right.
And then I realize, I totally forgot to ask about him. I
Yes.
just talked about myself.
Yes.
So, how to control
Navigate that,
these
yeah.
kinds of things.
Yes. I think the biggest thing you can do is practice. Because when you are in that moment and you realize that you haven't asked the person about themselves, if you had practiced a couple times in the mirror, the end of, now tell me about yourself, it will be natural in the real time. The more comfortable you are talking about yourself, and the more readily you have those points available, highlighting your education, your past projects, or your most recent job, the more comfortable you'll be in that moment, and the person listening might be able to respond with a question of their own. And instead of it being a formal back and forth, it will become more conversational.
Why exactly is elevator pitch useful?
In the US, things are very quick. People want to know immediately who you are and what you can bring to them. So if you're able to give them a very quick 30-second summary, you've already helped them decide what their next decision will be. Unfortunately, we just don't have the culture where we can sit down for 10 minutes to talk about each other. If the idea is, if you are riding on an elevator with someone and you realize that this could be someone you want to work for, you want to describe who you are and what you can do for them before they get off on their elevator floor.
Whoa.
So the whole thing revolves around, you're on an elevator, you have 30 seconds, what can you tell this person?
But that doesn't mean that you have to talk in a very you have to speed up your speed.
And it doesn't need to be your whole history. It can be very small snippets of who you are.
Let's do one experiment. I am with you on an elevator and you are pitching your elevator pitch to me. So I'll give you 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. Hi, I'm Mary. I work at Upwardly Global. It's a nonprofit that helps skilled immigrants get jobs. I went to school in San Diego and studied political science, and it was then that I realized this world is huge and we can do so much work together to improve this world. Right now, the job that I'm doing is a total mix of meeting people every day and helping them get back to their professional career, while also, working with the team to develop them professionally. Right now, I'm interested to stay in this field because it's something that I learn every day, and I'm challenged, and I'm surrounded by people with such passion for this mission.
Whoa. That's 30 seconds? Whoa,
I
that
don't
was
know if
something.
that was 30 seconds.
We have to check that.
It might be.
It's less than 30
might
seconds.
Be 15.
Yeah. Do you write your elevator pitch and do you memorize it? How do you do it?
To be honest, right then was just complete
Right.
out of my brain just
Right.
now. But if I was going into an interview, absolutely, I'll have it prepared. So I
Right.
will know who I'm speaking with, and I will make sure I leave room for conversation. So if I knew that I was giving an elevator pitch to someone that had a podcast and I
Okay.
wanted to be interviewed, I would maybe tell you that, we work for an organization that many people want us featured in their podcast, or that maybe we've been interviewed by companies in the past, so
Right.
that you think, maybe we want her on our podcast.
On our podcast,
So
right.
how can I be attractive to you?
When you give your elevator pitch, you should have the elements that relate with your profession or your area of interest, but also is related to that person's field of
Yes.
interest. So that is how you can connect,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, exactly. If a person is listening to you, they're going to be listening for how they can respond. So if you give them that little piece, they can feel comfortable to jump in and say, oh, I have a podcast. Let's talk about it. So it invites the person to even talk about themselves.
That's about it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Very to the point.
Yep.
Yes. Pretty brief and to the point.
Like an elevator pitch.
Thank you so
you.
much, Mary, for inviting us to your office.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mary, again. And if there's anybody who wants to get in touch with you through Upworthy Global, how can they reach out to you?
Sure. So if someone wants to apply for our program, you can just go to our website.
Okay.
It's upwardlyglobal.org.
Okay.
There you'll find a lot of information about our program, the steps to enroll, and then the application. But if someone wants to email me personally,
Right.
my email is marys, as in Sam, at upwardlyglobal.org.
And if you are emailing Mary, please mention at the end of the day, podcast at the end of the day in the title, so that she knows where the emails are coming from. And in case you want to take a look at our old episodes, please log on to podcast@theendoftheday.com.
Yeah.
And there is an archive of all the episodes.
And you can find our podcast every podcast platform, Spotify, Anchor, iTunes, everywhere, and even on YouTube. Please subscribe our podcast. Thank you.